So please take a look at the MC part first. Okay, so I just want to go through some of them. For the first one, question 22, there are three statements. Burning coal forms both acidic and non-acidic substance. Okay, so that's a correct statement. So acidic substance, you can give the examples as carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide. They are acidic. Okay, and there are some other non-acidic substance produced. For example, there are some particles, suspended particles produced. They are carbon. Also, carbon monoxide produced is also non-acidic. Okay, unlike carbon dioxide. Okay, so first statement is correct. Second statement, burning coal forms both gas and non-gas substance. Okay, again, we can use the same example. Gas products may include carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide. And for non-gas substance, then we can have carbon, okay, the particles. And then the third statement, burning coal forms both poisonous and non-poisonous substance. So for poisonous substance, example we can list out are carbon monoxide. Okay, very toxic. If it binds binds with your hemoglobin, it will not release so easily, so you cannot take in enough oxygen. Okay, and also nitrogen monoxide is also toxic. Okay, and other substance, non-poisonous substance, carbon dioxide. Okay, we have carbon dioxide surround us all the time, and it's non-toxic. Okay, so the correct answer for question 22 should be D. Okay, for question 9. Okay, 1 mole of a hydrocarbon requires 9 mole of oxygen for complete combustion. So which of the following may be this hydrocarbon? So how can we solve this problem? Of course, you can use all the examples and write out the complete equation. But another way to approach this is that we try to write the equation now without stating the number of hydrogen atoms in this. Okay, so how should we do it? So I would say, you can see the number of carbon is 6. So I will write C6H(N). Okay, I use N to represent that number of hydrogen atom. So we know when 1 mole of this hydrocarbon burns completely, it requires 9 mole of oxygen. Okay, and we know it should produce carbon dioxide plus water in complete combustion. Okay, so the next problem is to balance the equation. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we got 6 carbon. That means we need to add a coefficient 3 for carbon dioxide. Okay, so the total number of carbon atoms is balanced now. And then we need to deal with number of hydrogen. On the left-hand side, we have N of hydrogen atoms. Right-hand side, H2O. That means the coefficient here should be N divided by 2, right? To balance the whole equation. Okay, so now the equation is balanced, and we know that the total number of oxygen atoms should stay the same. So we can write an equation. So 2 times 9, which is the total number of oxygen atom on the left-hand side, should equal to 3 times 2. Okay, that's from carbon dioxide, and also 2N. That's the oxygen from water. Okay, and simply solve this equation, it can give you N equals 12. So the correct answer should be C. Okay, and the rest of them are just some factual information you need to learn from this unit. So for question 10 should be B. Question 22 should be C. You have learned this in your IS in grade 7. Okay, nuclear energy is a non-renewable energy source because that requires chemical reaction. Okay, and it's not renewable energy source. Okay, and here for question 17, what are the advantages of using natural gas over using coal as a fuel in power station? We got 3 statements here. So in comparing with coal, natural gas burns more completely. Okay, so there are 2 points you need to know. Natural gas, of course, is a gas. Okay, so normally gas can burn more completely than coal. Okay, because it has a more contact surface to react more completely with the other substance. And also, natural gas, mainly methane. Okay, so it's a very small molecule, so it can burn more completely. So the statement 1 is correct. And then statement 2. In comparing with coal, natural gas has less sulfur-containing substance. Yes, that's true. So mainly methane and some other hydrocarbons. And 3, natural gas is a renewable energy source, but coal is not. Both of them are non-renewable energy source. It requires a long time to form. Okay, so the correct answer should be A. Only the first and second statements are correct. Okay, so 24. So here, burning fossil fuels can cause acid rain. Yes, because it's gonna produce sulfur dioxide, and when sulfur dioxide dissolves in water, it's gonna form acid rain. Okay, and second statement, burning fossil fuels produces carbon dioxide. Yes, that's also correct. Okay, both of the statements are correct. However, the second statement is not an explanation for this. It's the sulfur dioxide that dissolves in water to form the acid rain, not the carbon dioxide. Normally, the rain is slightly acidic. That's due to the dissolved carbon dioxide in it. But that normal rain is just slightly acidic. The acid rain we talked about, the pH is much lower than that due to the dissolved sulfur dioxide. Okay, and for the short answer questions, most of them, I think you did pretty well. Just a few questions I want to emphasize. So for question 8, although we haven't talked about that, but I mentioned in grade 10 you should always write staying symbol for your equation. So here, the C8H18, if you want to write staying symbol for that, it should be liquid, okay, not gas or solid. And the staying symbol, we're gonna talk about which state it's gonna be in. We're gonna talk about in the coming unit, okay. And then for part B, quite a lot of students, when they draw this electron diagram, they put 1 more pairs of electrons on oxygen. So after you're drawing your electron diagram, you need to always double check how many electrons are on one atom. For example, now the carbon here got 8 electrons. That's perfect. But if you draw with 1 more pair of electrons, for this oxygen, it actually got 10 electrons in it. Okay, and oxygen would not be able to take 10 electrons in its outermost shell. So that's a wrong representation. So be careful, don't draw an extra pair for those oxygen. And again, how many electrons can it maximum take? We're gonna learn in the coming units as well. And next part, just be careful with the spelling. Some of you wrote a catalyst converter. It should be catalytic converter. Okay, and the rest of them, no problem. And one more question I want to mention is question 6. Okay, so take a look at the question. What does it say? For question 6, Okay, it asks you to explain from molecular level why petrol can be obtained from petroleum by fractional distillation. So you cannot just simply describe the principle of fractional distillation in general. You need to refer back to these two examples, petrol and petroleum. Okay, so in your answer, you should state that first, components having different boiling points can be separated by fractional distillation. And then you need to state why petrol can be separated from petroleum. That's because the longer the carbon chain, the higher is the boiling point. Okay? So you need to relate it to the example that the question asks you. So you need to mention both points in order to get full marks for that question. Okay, so rest of them, I think you've done fine for that. It's a pretty simple unit. Okay, so if you get any question, you can ask me now.